What's up, guys? Brady here, coming at you with a review of the new From Ashes to New album Reflections that dropped this past Friday. This is actually a band that I have followed for a long time. I first got into them way back in 2015 with the release of the Downfall EP. In particular, it was the title track on that EP that really hooked me. So I've followed this band actually for a long time, but studio album after studio album, it became clear that this was a band that at most I could just pick off a few songs from each record with. And in general, just their overall style, just this really accessible rap rock, new metal, hard rock hybrid, I guess, with maybe a little metalcore in there. Just overall, this very radio friendly Octane sound has very much waned in appeal to me over the years. But I still want to give this album a chance. I've been giving them chances with each album because there's nothing more satisfying when a band you've known about for a while that doesn't really do much for you finally releases an album that you click with. And I remember when their last album, Blackout, dropped in 2023, there were like 2 or 3 songs on that record that I actually thought were really good, maybe some of their best ever. Broken by Design, the closer on that record, I remember especially getting hooked on a lot. So I really was rooting for the band. I was rooting for the band a lot with this record. But not only is this not the record that's going to get me hooked on the band, it might be my least favorite of theirs to date. I was honestly willing to give them a pass on things like the very polished and overly done production, the somewhat vanilla and at times cliche lyrical themes, and even the rapping, which in general is not a vocal style that I'm into. These are all criticisms that I have of this record, but at the same time, though, I went into this record expecting all of those things. So as a result, they didn't really bother me as much. I'll tell you the thing that bothered me. The thing that bothered me and the thing that wore me down with this damn record is just the structures of all of these songs. Every single fucking song on this record is built and modeled and travels and flows the exact same way. There's zero nuance to any of these song structures. It's so rigid and it's so just robotic. Every single song, it's the exact same, like intro/verse, first chorus, second verse, second chorus, bridge consisting of a come down into a heavier part kicking in, and then the chorus again to close the song. It would already be problematic if they were just using the same repetitive, somewhat nuanced or somewhat inventive song structures over and over. That would already be frustrating to me. But the fact that they chose the most basic pop song structure there is and did that for every track on here, it's so frustrating. It's like they're not even trying to make these songs unpredictable or innovative or creative or different or unique in any way. It's just the same thing every track. I think the band could have at least used this structure and split things up in a sense that maybe the bridge section isn't always heavy like that. There's some songs that are just purely melodic all the way through, some songs that are purely aggressive all the way through, but the band can't even do that. Listen to a track like Falling from Heaven, where the band does a decent job of keeping up some melodies all the way through the song, but then they can't commit to that because they have to throw this heavy bridge on there because they need a fucking breakdown in all their songs. Same thing with the closer, Your Ghost. I mean, this track it screamed ballad to me as I was listening to all these tracks, awaiting this closing track. It opens with some somber, clean guitar melodies that at least got the song off to a good start. I fucking hate that I'm not there. And the song it's pretty melodic most of the way through, but then you get to the bridge again and it's heavy. It comes out of nowhere. It feels so forced into the song and it doesn't belong. But here's the thing. I think they still could have saved most of this album if they at least put some better choruses on these songs. With this rudimentary of a song structure, that's pretty much the only way you can save the song. If you're doing a song with this structure, this pop song structure, and your chorus doesn't hit, it's not going anywhere. And the band actually has saved a few tracks for me just purely on the chorus alone. I think Scars That I'm Hiding, Whoa vocals and all from their 2020 album Panic is a good song just purely because of the chorus. Also Heartache from their last record is a good instance of that. Barely Breathing, another one. They've made songs with catchy enough choruses where you still enjoy the track overall and you still want to come back to it just to hear the chorus. There are very, very few instances of that on this album. Like the track Forever has some nauseatingly bland rhythm guitar parts in the intro and the verses. And it has the very predictable structure. But the chorus on this song is genuinely climactic and powerful as a great vocal performance. I'm sorry for your suffering and how I pull you And you know what? It might be my favorite song on here. It might be one of like two songs on here that I actually like. I think my favorite though is "Die for You," which is one of the singles, and actually I think the only track I heard before the album's release. But because I don't really listen to singles much. But with this track, I mean, it's got the killer chorus, and I think it's my favorite because it does the best job of actually maintaining a certain mood throughout. I think maybe the only thing that would have helped this song more is in the bridge if they cut out some of the vocals and just let the instrumental parts and those melodies just shine on their own, because I think that just would have hit a lot harder, and then when the vocals do come back, that also would have hit harder. And that's kind of another thing that I was expecting going into this, because oftentimes these very radio accessible bands will feel the need to just put vocals over everything and not let the instrumentals shine on their own. But yeah, this track "Die For You" is probably my favorite on here, although we'll have to forgive the title, which I feel like is becoming the most overused metalcore song title. "Die For Me," "Die For You," either one. Also Parasite. Parasite's a good track too. So I guess there's three tracks on here. This song Parasite also does a good job of maintaining a mood most of the time. The falsetto vocals and the verses I think were pretty well done, although the rap comes in and kind of neuters it. There also is definitely one of the better choruses on this song, and this song is one of the few on here where they at least sort of switch things up for the last chorus by just doing the vocals in a bit more of a powerful way. This is the most interesting song on the record, and even this song still has that same structure that I've panned multiple times now. Also with this record, sometimes it's not always the weird transitions into the bridge between the heavy and melodic not really working. Sometimes that's happening throughout the song, like the opener "Drag Me" is a good instance of that. Like the intro and especially the verses of the song have that like that melodrama and that intensity. It's supposed to get you in the zone. I've been trying to keep my head calm, 'cause the minute I lose it is the moment that the dead come. Speaking tongues like it's red rum, pulling me to the darkness and the depths of descent from. Then the chorus hits, "Drag me to hell." Why does it sound so goofy and so sing-songy? I mean, these parts do not belong in the same song. I'm sorry. And as far as other notes on this record, I mean, it's a lot of just the other things that I mentioned at the beginning of the video that I was kind of expecting going into it, just doing their job and weighing this record down. On tracks like "Black Hearts" and "Upside Down," the band does at least attempt to get a little bit riffy in the rhythm guitar department, but the guitar tone itself it's so weak and limp and flaccid that it doesn't help these riffs hit like they should. They just come off underwhelming. They sound so like dulled at the edges. There's no crunch, there's no bite. The song "Not Psycho" has these distorted vocals that come in that they're just cheesy. I mean, we've heard stuff like this by so many different bands so many different times. I think Starset did that like 4 times on just their last record alone. The studio effects on this album pretty much do nothing like 95% of the time. I mean, just listen to that last chorus on the song "Villain." What are those keys doing in this song? They don't even sound like they're trying to add texture. It sounds like they're just put there as embellishments to somewhat advance the song's structure. And there's the rapping. I mean, I'm not going to criticize them a whole lot based on this, just because that's kind of their style. And in general, the style doesn't do a whole lot for me. But I think my biggest issue that I can criticize them for is that they all sound like they blend together so much. These rap parts in general. It's just like it's pure angst on top of angst every time the rap parts come in. And the rapping itself, both in melody and cadence, doesn't take a whole lot of risks. It comes off a little bit blocky and a little bit monotone. Going back to the guitars, there is definitely a severe lack of riffs on here. I mean, like I mentioned earlier, the band does try to get riffy on a few songs, but it's neutered by the guitar tone. In general, though, most of the album lacks in the riff department, just as far as them being there. Like, again, that intro to the song "Forever" is a great instance of that. So yeah, I really don't like this album. As you can see, I've spent most of the video bashing the shit out of it. But, you know, I like to think of myself as an optimist, and I at least came out with 3 decent songs that I might be adding to my playlist. We'll see. I'll say one thing, though. There definitely wasn't a "Broken by Design" on this record like there was in the last one, because that song, it was instant. I think it stayed in my playlist pretty much the entire second half of 2023. if you guys disagree with me on this record, at least give that song a listen. Give Broken by Design a listen from their album Blackout in 2023, because that song is what, if they made more of an album that is just like that, I would totally get into it. Because just listen to it, because it's got the energy to it. It's aggressive the entire time. Even the chorus, which is maybe slightly melodic, it still has that hostility towards it. Even the lyrics, that first line in the chorus. Where was that on this record? I definitely think the band's longtime and hardcore fans will absolutely love this record, because it's pretty much in line with the band's entire style up to this date. But I would strongly encourage this band to just be a little innovative, be a little different, be more creative, do something unconventional, mix up the structure, try playing an odd time signature, do some time changes, some tempo changes, anything. Try out a full-on ballad. Try out a song that's fully screamed and heavy all the way through. Because when your album is this one-dimensional all the way through, that limits you so much. Like, I understand their sound is already kind of a melting pot of different subgenres, but if you're not into this specific exact sound that you're hearing on this record, then you're not going to like this record, because it doesn't do anything else. There's nothing surprising on here. There's nothing that you'll notice after a second listen. So yeah, sorry guys, I did not like this record at all. I gave it a fair chance. I'm going to give their next record a fair chance too. But for now, this is where they're at. I'm going to score this album a 5 out of 30. As always, thank you guys so much for watching. If you've heard this album, please comment below your thoughts on it, especially if you disagree with me. I love having some just genuine musical debate in my comment section. Please hit the subscribe button for more rock and metal related content and album reviews that aren't usually this negative. And until next time, I'll see you guys later. Peace.